Week 12 in the NFL is here, 1 week away from one of my favorite days on the NFL calendar, the Thanksgiving week when you get the triple header. Uh, but we're winding down, Kev. It's football weather out there today. It's like 41 degrees, rainy. It reminds you of a game that could be in December, January. You're really starting to get down to the nitty gritty and the end of the season. I think we're starting to see kind of tiers really be developed. You look the Eagles and the Lions. I think they're kind of in their own tier in the NFC. Then you look at the AFC, the Bills, the Chiefs, even the Steelers kind of up there right now. The AFC looks a lot more deep and dangerous right now. We'll get into some of those teams. And the NFC, I think it's kind of a clear cut, two top teams, and then there's a few below them, and there's a whole other group below that as well. But you're really starting to see teams separate. Had some great games last week and hoping for some good games this week as well. But welcome back to the show, Kevin. How are we?
Yeah, it should be a fun week. This slate this week looks super fun. A lot of good games, and definitely starting to see like the playoff implications come into fold now.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of these games separate. Like I feel like earlier in the year we were kind of picking and guessing, like, all right, is this team gonna make a run? Is this team, headed for disaster type thing? And now you're kind of seeing some games that, excuse me, for some of the elite teams in the league, like we'll be talking about the Packers 7-3. Are they an NFC contender, or are they just kind of one of those mid teams? And they play the 49ers this week, who are 5-5 now in a desperation game. We got the Lions on here. We got the Eagles and Rams. That's a big one. NFC West showdown between the Cardinals and Seahawks. Who would have thought that? It's like a potential first place game there, but a lot of big games this week. We'll dive into the five best. Recap week 11 real quick. One of my better weeks last week, continuing off the strong week from the week before. 3-2 straight up, 3-2 against the spread, 4-1 on the totals, 0-1 on my lock, which was the Eagles 49ers money line parlay. Niners lose at the last second to the Seahawks. 1-0 on my dog of the week, which was Steelers plus 3.5. They win outright. And 1-0 on my touchdown score of Jalen Hurts last week. Kev, you go 9-9, 3-2 straight up, 2-3 against the spread, 3-2 on the total, 1-0 on your lock of the week, which was Colts plus 3.5. They beat the Jets outright. 0-1 on your dog of the Titans, and then 0-1 on your touchdown score of Austin Eckler. Brian Robinson wound up playing in that one, takes the goal line carry away. But we'll get into Sunday now, where we start. We're recording this on Thursday night. Not going to be breaking down Browns Steelers, but you want to give a pick for the game real quick tonight, Browns or Steelers? I think I saw 90% of the money is on the Steelers to cover that 3.5.
Yeah, I'll go Steelers. I don't know if I would take the spread, but I will pick them to win outright.
Yeah, I think the Steelers win too, but that is one of those potential Vegas nose games. And weird weather out there. Who knows what happens? Steelers kind of riding high. I think that one could be close and ugly, but I will take the Steelers to win as well. All right, we go to Sunday now with the 9-1 Lions. For my money, the best team in the NFL right now. They just seem to dominate each and every week. Go to Indy to play the 5-6 Colts, still kind of hanging around, potentially in the mix there for the 7th seed. Anthony Richardson comes in and looks good last week in his first start since being benched. This is a 1:00 kick on Fox. Lions 7.5-point favorite. Over under is 50.5.
Yeah, I'm going Lions winning by 20, 34-14. Lions minus 7.5, under 50.5. The Lions are at the point in this season now where you should just be betting on them every week. I don't see that changing here either. They beat everyone, and then they also just kill the teams that they should kill. I think that's like a mark of a really, really great team, just blowing out teams that aren't even in the same echelon as you in the NFL. And I don't think the Colts are as bad as the Jags last week. I don't know if we're going to see that big of a blowout, but I don't see this being super close. The Colts are 28th versus the run and 26th versus the pass. And I just don't think Anthony Richardson is very good or trustworthy. I think the Lions handle this game easily and continue to set the pace for the 1 seed in the NFC. And then the Colts continue to fall back in the hunt for the playoffs.
Yeah, Lions minus 7.5. One of my favorite plays on the board this week. I won't bore everyone with it because I feel like most episodes that the Lions are featured, come on here and say, but Dan Campbell, Jared Goff against the spread, pretty much money printers at this point. They just simply go out there and win and cover each and every week. And they really have no mercy. They're out there just absolutely annihilating teams. And they do it against some inferior opponents, the Titans, the Jaguars, but still, that's an NFL team out there, and they're going out there and putting it to them every single week. And I do not think the Colts are a very good football team. Anthony Richardson, I'm a fan of the talent. I still think it's a little early to give up on him. He goes out there, looks like he learned from some mistakes last week and played really well. but he's going to cough it up a handful of times, and you can't do that to the Lions with that explosive offense. They can really strike quick and make you pay for those turnovers. So I think he coughs it up a couple times. Jared Goff and the Lions offense make the Colts pay, and the Lions pull away and get a win here. I'll go 31-17, so Lions minus 7.5 and under a 50.5. All right, we go to the 425 window. I saw some snow potentially in the forecast for this game today. It is snowing in Green Bay up at Lambeau. So that would be a cool sight here for one of the first real kind of winter games as we make this playoff push. But you got the Niners at 5-5, going to Green Bay, who's 7-3. 425 on Fox. Packers 2-point favorite, over under is 48.5. Kev, Niners desperation game. You think they go to Lambeau and win?
I think they do. I'm going 27-23, Niners +2 over 48.5. It's hard for me to quit the Niners as we just keep expecting each week that they'll come out and look like the team that they've been for the past couple of seasons. And I think if it doesn't happen this week, I just don't think it's going to happen at all this year. In my eyes, this is the Niners' last and final chance, do or die. I will take them this week because I think they can take advantage of Jordan Love's turnovers. He has 11 picks in 8 games now and at least 1 in every game. And then the Niners have been able to move the ball this year, ranking number 2 in yards per game and per play, but they've really been struggling in the red zone. I think the Niners get on track here as Green Bay loses for what should be the 3rd week in a row now after that crazy one against the Bears.
I'm taking the upset here as well with the 49ers. The 49ers right now are in a kind of gotta-have-it game with their season slowly slipping away. Niners are now minus 250 at DraftKings to miss the playoffs and plus 200 to make it. They lose this game, it's going to be a steep uphill climb for them to get themselves out of this hole and make it just to the playoffs. Forget the division. I think you're just competing for a wild card spot at this point if you lose this game. Really feels like a do or die spot. With a loss, they fall to 5-6, and you have to think it would be at the point where the division or bust. Go back to that. It would be more so they're going for the division if they lose this game. It sounds stupid to say that, but all the teams in the NFC West, we'll talk about the Rams later, but they're 5-5. Seahawks at 6-5, and the Cardinals at 6-4. The Niners lose this, they're at 5-6. It's going to be hard to catch up with one of the Packers sitting here at 7-3 right now. The Vikings, who are 8-2, and then you look at the Commanders as well at 7-3 or 7-4. It's going to be hard to keep up with those teams. So huge one here for the Niners. Major got to have it spot. I think we get a very desperate 49ers squad and a Packers team that I'm still not 100% sold on. They were a blocked field goal away, as you touched on, from losing to the Bears last week, and just a full out desperation game for the San Francisco 49ers in this one. It really just boils down to that for me. So I'm going to take San Fran to win this one outright on the road, 27-23. So Niners +2 over 48.5. Niners go to 6-5 and keep their season kind of alive in the hunt for the division as well. All right, we go to an NFC West game, the 6-4 Cardinals against my least favorite team in the league. I hate talking about these guys, the 5-5 Seahawks. 425 kick on Fox. Seahawks 1-point favorite, over under 47.5.
Yeah, the Cardinals winning a close one, 24-23. So Cardinals +1, under 47.5. The Cardinals are getting a lot of love recently as a sneaky good team, and I think I'll continue the trend this week, picking them here. As you kind of mentioned, I also don't like the Seahawks. I don't trust Geno. The Cardinals are also coming off a bye and have won their last 4. Kyler has looked good in those games. And then also the Cardinals are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6, while the Seahawks are just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. I'm going with the Cardinals. I think they stay on top of the NFC West here.
Yeah, I like the Cardinals to win this game as well. I said it right here, but I hate having the Seahawks on the show. They're the most infuriating team in the NFL to me right now. I thought they were dead in the water last week. I thought that was going to be an easy money line leg to that parlay with San Fran. And they go on the road to San Francisco and win last week at the end, kind of in shocking fashion. Find a way to win that game, and here they are sitting at 5-5, not only live for the playoffs, but the division as well. But this is a surging Cardinals team that's playing some really good ball over the last month or so, and looks like a team that nobody wants to play. They've won 4 in a row. They've won 5 of 6 and are coming off a bye as well. Seahawks won that emotional, physical game on the road last week. All the cliches thrown into there, but it's true. Are they able to bounce back or just get back on track, stay on track from that game last week? It's a tough one, I think, really, especially in the division again, get back up for. And I think for that reason, I'm going to take this rested Cardinals squad coming off the bye to win in Seattle. I'll go Cardinals 23, Seahawks 20, Cardinals +1, and the under of 47.5. All right, a rare occurrence that we have both the Sunday night and Monday night football game on, but those are our last two games of the week. You have the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-2, traveling out to LA to play the 5-5 Rams. 8:20 kick on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Eagles only a 2.5-point favorite here, over under 49.5. You think the Eagles are on upset alert in this one, Kev?
Yeah, I think they should be on upset alert. The Rams are a really good team. I am still going to ride with the Eagles 24-21. Eagles do end up covering the spread just barely, that 2.5, under 49.5. Last year, the Eagles went to LA as well. I did pick the Rams last year. I was wrong. I'm not going to do it again here. So, like I said, I'm going with the Birds. Coming off a little bit of a mini bye, they are starting to look a little more like the 2022 team. The defense has been playing at a really high level and has been getting off the field on third down and in the red zone. I think the offense is doing the exact opposite as well. They're beginning to rely on Saquon, make him the focal point of the offense. And then the Rams are not an easy win, though. Stafford is still playing at an extremely high level. He has two excellent wide receivers. They also have an excellent head coach. I think the Eagles' defense has proven they are capable of handling the Rams' high-powered offense, as they have already played against the Bengals and Commanders recently, who came into those games with pretty electric offenses, and the Eagles were able to take care of them relatively easily. I think the Birds' offense will continue to run the ball and win with the line play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, another great test here for the Eagles defense. Eagles defense is now number 1 in the league statistically. But I think this, you can make an argument for the Bengals, but I think this also has an argument to be the toughest test since that kind of turnaround at the bye week with Puka and Kupp healthy. That passing game can beat anyone in the league, and it's going to be a major challenge and test for DeJean and Quinion, and they've been up for the challenge so far and have played excellent football, both of them. You throw Darius Slay in the mix as well. He's played some awesome football since the bye too. But those guys are going to have their hands full. This is a dynamic passing attack. Matt Stafford, when he's on, is one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And it's not full on desperation mode for the Rams in this one, but a win here would be huge to their playoff push. After this, they go to New Orleans, which is never easy, host the Bills, go to the Niners, who are going to be in desperation mode, go to the Jets. Who knows what team pops up there, but you got a West Coast team going East Coast, could be bad weather in December there. Host the Cardinals and host the Seahawks. Not exactly a cupcake schedule from here on out. I think they're going to, sitting here at 5-5, going to need to steal a game or two over that stretch, most likely to get in the playoffs. They beat the Eagles here. That is a huge kind of momentum booster and gives you the ability to maybe even drop one of these tough games coming up and not really sweat over it that much. But the Eagles have been playing so well recently, it is really just hard to pick against them, and they're coming off some extended rest as well. Eagles are 16-6 under Sirianni as an away favorite, and they are also 30-3 straight up after a win. So coming off a win, 30-13, it's a team that's been able to string wins together multiple times under Nick Sirianni. So to put it simply, Sirianni, all he does is win. I'll continue to back him until this Eagles team gives me a reason not to. I'm going to take the Eagles on the road here, but I really think it's a battle. I'll go Eagles 27, Rams 24, Eagles -2.5, over 49.5. Monday Night Football, the final game of the week, the Harbaugh Bowl, the Harbaugh brothers facing off for the first time since Jim came back into the NFL. You have the 7-4 Ravens going out to LA to play the 7-3 Chargers. Primetime football on out in LA on Sunday night and Monday night this week. By the 8:15 game, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Ravens, 3-point favorite here on the road. Over-under is 49.5.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens 24, Chargers 20. So Ravens -3, under 49.5. There's one game every week that I just think about, and I don't know which way to go. For me this week, it's this game. My gut says Ravens, as you just think about how special their offense can be and has been for spurts this year. But then you get games like last week where they just don't show up. They did it against the Raiders earlier this season, and they just don't look great on offense. And then you also just can't really rely on their defense at all this year. It is a week-to-week league, so I am taking the Ravens here. I think they'll bounce back. But also, just to play devil's advocate on this flip side, I think about the Chargers defense having a great season. The Ravens, against a pretty good defense last week in Pittsburgh, weren't able to do much. So you think the Chargers will be able to stop them as well. And the Chargers also have solid QB play and an underrated running game. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the Ravens, as I think Lamar and the offense is not going to have two bad games in a row. And then I think Lamar continues to make his case for his third MVP here.
Yeah, another awesome Monday night game. You kind of laid it all out there. Was really impressed that the Chargers found a way to win last week and didn't pull a classic Chargers. Like they were up, they were dominating early in the first half, and then they gave the lead away. That's a game I've seen the Chargers lose for decade plus now, dating back to Philip Rivers and now including the Justin Herbert era. They found a way to win, and that was impressive. That was just what good teams do. You give a game up, things aren't going your way, you don't fold under pressure, and they found a way to win that game. So hats off to them, and for kind of the 1 year turnaround that they've gone from Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh has been really impressive. Ravens, you look at them coming off a tough road loss, you get a big spot for both teams here now. Ravens lose here, and the Steelers beat the Browns tonight. The Ravens are going to be 3 games back in the division. The Chargers win here. They're sitting at 8-3, and it's going to be very hard, I think, for them to miss the playoffs, and they're most likely going to be right in the mix there for the number 5 overall seed. Since John Harbaugh took over in Baltimore, though, in 2008, the Ravens are the best team in the NFL straight up following a loss. They are 62-35 over that span. That's a 64% of their games they've won following a loss. So he's been able to really get his teams to bounce back. I think the Ravens are in more of a desperate spot here as well, and the point spread indicates too that they like the Ravens on this one, especially on the road. I'll take the Ravens on the road here, but I'll split the difference with the Chargers covering the spread. I'll go Ravens 28, Chargers 26. So Chargers +3 over 49.5. All right, final 3 picks of the week. Our dog of the day, our lock of the week, and our touchdown score. This is the week we will hit the touchdown score parlay. Dog of the day. I'm going to go with the Bears +3.5. Got a little bit of an addiction to betting on the Chicago Bears right now. Had them last week +6. They should have won it outright. They covered, though. I think they can at least do that again this week at home against the Vikings and kind of another last-ditch type effort. I don't think that's a team that's going to the playoffs. But if they're going to go on a run, it's got to start with a win. And I still think the Vikings are a little bit overrated. So give me the Bears +3.5. And I think there's a chance to win that one outright at Soldier Field.
Yeah, my dog of the day, I'm going Pats +7 against the Dolphins. Drake May has looked good. I think he can keep this one within a touchdown.
I don't like that one. I was close to making the Dolphins -7 my lock of the week. I think the Dolphins are going to be a sneaky team that goes on a run over these next few weeks and is in the hunt up until the end. But the Patriots have looked a lot better under Drake May, but I do think the Dolphins are going to be able to outscore that offense. Lock of the week, I'll go with a play that we already talked about, but Lions -7.5. They just win and cover every single week. If you just bet them against the spread each week, you're going to be profitable on the NFL season. So I'll take them this week in Indianapolis against the Colts.
Yeah, my lock of the week, I'm going Commanders -10 against the Cowboys. I trust the Commanders to beat up on a bad team, get right game for them as they have stumbled against better teams as of late.
Yeah, pretty wild to see the Commanders as a 10-point favorite against the Cowboys. I don't know the last time that was the case. Final pick of the week, touchdown score, +426 combined for our parlay here. I'm going to go with Brian Robinson -130 versus the Cowboys. I think they're able to put points up on that Cowboys defense, and he's been money around the goal line this year. I feel like every game he's played pretty much, he's found his way into the end zone almost. So Brian Robinson -130 versus the Cowboys for my touchdown score.
Yeah, I'm going George Pickens tonight against the Browns +220. Maybe not the greatest pick given the weather, but I think Russ really trusts him, throws the ball up to him a lot. George Pickens against the Browns tonight on Thursday Night Football.
All right, well, that will do it for NFL Week 12 preview. As always, everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a mega episode featuring all 3 Thanksgiving games, including Cowboys-Giants in the 4:30 slot. And then break down the other best games of the week as well. But we'll talk next week. Enjoy the games and go Birds.